Exercise with an ape maker, human down. Then talks. Of the divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. The only good human is a dead human. And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then oh please God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, a daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd. That was Sean. Hey, dude with the mustache hiding beneath the stairs. Who are you?
My name is Richard. How are you guys?
He's one of the people under the stairs.
I wish that we
I
could...
saw that movie in the theater. Go ahead.
I wish we could put...
in the theater. Wow.
I wish we could put images along with that because Richard leaned into the camera with one eyebrow up. Richard. Hey. All right, here we are, almost done with the week, minute 54. Sean, tell us what's going on.
All right, we're going to start minute 54 with guards unshackling Caesar and ends with the governor and McDonald watching Caesar being tortured.
All right, here we go. Let's take a listen. Minute 54 of Conquest, the Planet of the Apes.
I still don't see why he made a run for it.
It's really quite simple, Mr. McDonald. The ape has intelligence. He learned his friend Armando was dead. He assumed the man first betrayed him under torture.
But we don't do that to humans. Now,
As of minute 54, we have courtyards worth of gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, imported apes, Caesar, and a planet's worth of humans. And I did some math. I did some science. Armando's still not coming back.
No, I don't think he is until he needs to put worms in Chekhov's ears.
In Chekhov's ears?
Yeah. So here we are back in the torture room again. The blue light still overhead. Like so much of this film, a lot of shots play out for a long time so that they get coverage, so it sustains all the action instead of cutting to. One interesting thing that I really like is that we see the governor walk into the little observation room, and the lights that are on him and McDonald are warm lights. They're yellow, orange-ish lights, as opposed to the cool blue of the torture room. I really like that, but again, I just don't understand the choice of where is this light coming from and why is it hitting that corner. Whoever designed that room should be fired for the worst use of practical lighting ever.
Okay, now who designed the room versus who actually practical lighting? I actually like the shape of the room, because it is asymmetrical and there are jagged points everywhere. When we get the shot behind McDonald and Breck and we're looking down on Caesar being in the room, there's a harsh line that goes about 3/4 up the room that has two little juts in it and then oddly angles up and back to the wall again for no reason. There's no device in there. There's no nothing. I mean, it's very an unusual shaped room.
Nobody's seen this except for us, but you kind of like talking about that area?
Yeah, that right there. Yeah, exactly. That little, like, what is that? Why would you have
that black area that, like, I think it's an overhang that the shadow is hitting that way, but I don't know.
Well,
right, and then you have this kind of wall sconces they have in the corners that might be microphones or monitors or something, and they're jutting out from the wall. So when you cast a little bit of light on it, it creates all these odd shapes. Now, it would be more interesting if we had multiple sources to kind of make this even more, cast more patterns across the wall.
Yeah, if you had more light sources, it would make it look odder in there, yeah.
Well, okay, then
the shape of the room is fantastic.
Let's talk about the light, because what Richard and Sean are referring to is that after we get the shot where I was complaining about the light hitting the corner as they walk Caesar in, then we get a shot from within the observation booth over the governor to the right, McDonald, very heavy foreground left. We look down, and now the lighting source has changed, because if you look at the previous shot, there is no light that hits and creates a shadow for one of the guards. That lighting source is now almost in the opposite corner, and it's...
Well, I mean, now you can see we have multiple shadows here. So we've gone from the one source of light that works probably... no, it actually was coming this way, I think. No, it was coming this way, because I remember Colt's shadow. But now we have multiple shadows. You can see on the helmet, you can see coming up here, you can see here. So yeah, now they've actually lit it like more cinematically.
Well,
actually more TV-like to make everything more flat.
That's exactly it. And this is when you light like this, you're taking one light source and being able to move it for a number of shots, shooting economically again. This is also a lot of the same reason that you'll see moments where people in sunlight will both be backlit by the sun light, but that's physically not possible unless if it's overhead, then the sunlight washes you. But there's a famous moment, and Richard's going to love this. He's going to love. I'm going to quote another movie, but at the end of L.A. Confidential, whenever I believe it's Russell Crowe and Kim Basinger talking, the sun is a late afternoon sun, therefore only one of them would be getting sunlight from behind. But if you watch, both of them have sunlight halos. And it's, why do you do that? Because number one, it looks pretty. Number two, it's effectively lit and you can move on. And I think right here, this is just them saying, swing that light over here so this is a different angle. Again, put the damn light so it's a pool of light in the middle of the room. You can see this is bright enough. Even if you focus that light on the table, it would still kick up enough.
Yeah, it would bounce off the table, bounce off the floor, and light them. So they'd be lit from above, but also getting the bounce and being lit from below.
Yeah, I don't want to get too picky about lighting in this, but this is so badly done that it's just phantom light sources that move.
Well, talking about picky and movie stuff, look at the guards. You think they're late 30s, maybe mid 40s in age? When did Hollywood stop casting like older people as the normal people? Because if they did this today, this would be 21-year-old guys with huge biceps, holding him down, strapping him down, shaved heads, dripping with sweat because it's just so hard. No, these are just three old guys putting an ape down.
By the way, did you notice that that's a doorway that in that corner? Because at about 10 seconds, one of the guards walks out away and he walks into that's a weird doorway. It's a cool part of the room, but it's odd.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's what I was saying. It looked like an overhang, but yeah, it's just a weird doorway. Okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
So we get that.
It's an odd angled.
He walks out and they put Caesar on the table, in an odd choice for a cut, but they do it and it works okay. We get McDonald there coming in on the action, almost blocking what we see, and they stay with it as they strap Caesar down before we get an unmotivated flip, and it almost looks like they're kind of crossing the line a little bit.
We do get a little bit of dialogue between McDonald and Brecht, and just when McDonald says, "I still don't understand why he made a run for it," the note from Dane is that he's trying to cover for himself.
Okay.
So that's where that piece of dialogue comes from. I still don't understand why he made a run for it. And it's McDonald trying to cover for the fact that Caesar was out and away.
Does it sound like they put a little bit of a radio effect on their voices at some point, almost like Caesar
I'll tell you what it is, because the subtitles, because I always have that on because I want to see exactly what they're saying. It says, in parentheses, over intercom. So they've had the intercom. They're sitting up there in the observation booth. They can hear what Caesar's going to say, but they've had their speaker system on the entire time. So audio is going back and forth between the two. So they're hearing Caesar get set up, and Caesar's hearing everything they're saying.
Why would Caesar need to hear that?
That's exactly my note. Why do they have the intercom on while Caesar is being prepped?
What we're also missing is a piece of glass between the two of them sitting up and what should be.
Oh no! I know there's a piece of glass there, but there's an intercom.
Is there a piece of glass there?
Well,
there's not a piece of glass there.
There should be a piece of glass there, but
right. It just looks like they're in the same room.
System so that they can talk to the guards and say, "Hey, torture them more, or stop torturing, or whatever." But why do they have the intercom system on right now so that the guards can hear what they're saying? Because what they're saying should be private to them and not matter to the guards.
So when you're just watching this visually, it's not shot poorly because, we get shots of Roddy. We get shots up of Governor and McDonald. We even see, oh my God, what's his name?
Colt.
Thank you.
Colby.
We see him in the foreground as he sort of leads the torture. What I miss in this is I feel like, especially if it's implied in that script, Richard, that McDonald's covering for himself. And if Caesar's hearing all this, I feel like there should be a look between Caesar and McDonald where Caesar kind of looks at him like he knows he's trying to cover for him. And because there's just a missed moment of connection between characters. It becomes nothing but a weird torture scene. And then the torture scene, once again, there's no electrical current sound that goes along with this that tells me something's happening to him.
We'll get to that in a second, but we get the governor making a whole ton of assumptions. He knows nothing about Caesar, but then he just goes, "This ape has intelligence. He learned his friend Armando was dead," which we don't. He's assuming that he doesn't know that. And then he's going, he assumed the man first betrayed him under torture, which again, he doesn't know that Armando was tortured. But I mean, he's just saying, hey, this ape knows everything I know, and I'm assuming he knows it as well. And this is his motivation.
This conversation you're right, Sean, it makes no sense. Simple enough, Mr. Banal, the ape has intelligence. When he learned his friend Armando was dead, he assumed the man had first betrayed him under torture. So Armando betrayed Caesar under torture. Does Breck assume that Caesar knows that Armando is dead?
These are all assumptions. He's assuming that Caesar knows that Armando was taken and tortured and all this stuff. He's just making all these assumptions.
And gave Caesar up. Gave Caesar up. But Armando doesn't even know where Caesar ended up, right? Does he know where he ended up?
Armando doesn't know anything. The only thing Armando could have given up is the fact that Caesar can talk. Outside of that, he wouldn't have known anything else. But why would Caesar even assume any of that things? It's like as if Todd and I are best friends. Hey, it's real life. But then Todd walks away from me. I don't assume then Todd has been kidnapped, Todd has been tortured, and Todd has told government secrets about me. No, Todd is gone.
And the last Armando left Caesar. Caesar was going to go hide into a crate, put on a uniform, and Armando wanted to get out of town. He doesn't know that Caesar ended up back in town and with the governor. Like it's like this weird. I guess the point is. The point is that they're trying to give McDonald an excuse to move forward. Yeah, exactly. He assumed the man first betrayed him with torture, but we don't do that to humans. I was missing again an argument. I was missing something. This is supposed to be a moment for McDonald to realize what's about to happen is wrong. And it needed a little more back and forth. McDonald needed to realize the horror of what was about to happen. That we don't do this to humans, but we're about to do it to apes.
But we have to remember, Armando actually was tortured. So is this the first time McDonald's finding out that, hey, okay, what we're seeing right now, we put apes on the shocking table and go to town on them. You don't do that to humans, right? Is
right,
he actually now first time finding out, fuck, we actually do torture humans as well, and we did that to Armando, and of course Caesar is justified in everything he's doing now.
So then those two things should have been flipped. Rather than McDonald covering for himself, he should have said something like, why are we